Are we sure that this episode was just a season finale, or was it a series finale? Yes, this episode was that good. Hey everybody, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be my thoughts and impressions regarding the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS, episode 46, and I gotta say, this episode was so well done, it could arguably pass as the series finale, and the fact that this is just a season finale, this was just a fantastic way to kick off Season 2 and end Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! VRAINS, in my opinion. But before we ramble on about that too much longer, let's talk about the episode. So the episode begins with Playmaker staring down Revolver's extra link, and this is the continuation of the duel we saw last episode. Revolver's life points are currently at 2,700, Playmaker's are at 50, and it's now Revolver's turn. Revolver begins his turn by using anti-enemy Varret on Secure Gardna, even though thanks to disconnect linker it won't work, but Revolver did this even though it wouldn't work to seal away Playmaker's face down. But Playmaker manages to stay in the game by using the effect of Protection Wizard, which was sent to his graveyard to negate the destruction. But Revolver, undeterred, goes after Secure Gardna again with Boral Sword. However, by banishing Protection Wizard, Playmaker saves himself again by negating Secure Gardna's destruction. So Revolver switches his Magna Rocket to defense mode, which allows Magna Rocket's effect to destroy it and his other Anesthesia Shot Rocket. Playmaker then activates Cluster Congestion effect from the graveyard to banish it, and Secure Gardna to summon cluster tokens equal to Revolver's number of monsters, meaning 5. So Revolver is now facing down Playmaker's field of 5 tokens, but at the end of the turn, they're destroyed, and if Revolver can't eliminate them all, he's dealt with 300 points of damage for each one. But as Revolver attacks, Playmaker activates Transaction Rollback, and by halving his life points down to 25, Playmaker is able to use Revolver's Mirror Force. But unknown to Playmaker, Revolver has Topologic Gumbler Dragon's extra link effect to stop it before launching a 4-monster attack to wipe out the cluster tokens on Playmaker's field, saving himself from the possible damage. Playmaker's field is now, again, it's empty at this point, but Playmaker isn't deterred and is even smiling, something I asks him to cease doing as he's already on edge, a request Playmaker agrees to as he draws and begins what is arguably the most impressive comeback in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and I don't think that's a stretch of the imagination or a stretch by anybody's definition. But not before expressing to Revolver that he and him are the exact same, and that he'll save them and they'll walk a new path together. Essentially, Playmaker is saying he's going to become friends with Revolver. I have a suspicion that Playmaker and Revolver will later on in this series follow the Yugi and Kaiba dynamic from Duel Monsters, discussion for another day. But everybody is freaked out by this, especially I and Revolver. But anyway, that point aside, Playmaker starts by special summoning Encode Talker, which activates Topologic Gumbler Dragon's effect, destroying both their hands. But Playmaker anticipated this as he activates his equip spell, Spam Mail, from the graveyard, allowing Playmaker to draw a card and show it to Revolver. That card is Swamp Cleric, which he special summons by sending Auto Varret Dragon to Revolver's hand before activating Recode Alive's effect to bring back Transcode Talker, which also, thanks to Topologic Gumbler Dragon, Revolver's hand is wiped out as Playmaker brings back Power Code Talker and Link summons Firewall Dragon, thus linking both Revolver and Playmaker's entire field. So at this point, all the monster zones are linked. This is just one giant ring on the field, and this allows Playmaker to do the unthinkable and actually pull off the greatest comeback in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. It's essentially enemies powering one another, as Playmaker uses Swamp Cleric's effect to draw 0 extra link, which increases Transcode Talker's attack by 800 for every link monster, increasing its attack points to an impressive 9,200, which Revolver stops with the trap card Link Short, which negates the attack and prevents Playmaker from attacking. So Playmaker's Transcode Talker now has 9,200 attack points but can't attack, as Playmaker summons again with Firewall Transcode, and Power Code Talker to bring out his ace, Decode Talker, and uses Power Integration to raise its attack to 2800, and it's immune from the attack that was stopped by Revolver's Link Short Trap card. So now, Decode Talker is the only monster on the field, 2800 attack points. It can attack, but Revolver's saying, what can you do with a monster with attack points that low? As Playmaker reveals 0 extra links additional effect, which allows Decode Talker's attack to rise to Transcode Talker's power level prior to its destruction. That's right, 9200 points of damage that destroys Borolo Dragon and Revolver, which ends this duel between Revolver and Playmaker. So Revolver's defeated at this point, and he admits to Playmaker that I have been defeated, the Tower of Hanoi stops as he's vanishing, but not before telling Playmaker that as long as he has his goal, he will return. And so Revolver's gone, the Tower of Hanoi has stopped, everybody is free, so everybody that's trapped by the Tower of Hanoi returns to the real world, starting with Emma, then Aoi, then Zaizen, and of course Go Onizuka. Everybody's returning back to normal. It's a beautiful sight as Playmaker takes it in with Ai and they return to the real world. And of course at this point they're in Revolver's house, and Kusanagi actually comes running in, and just Playmaker is there with Ignis. Revolver is already left, and he's actually on a boat sailing away, and basically Playmaker let him go. But he said Revolver will return one day to fulfill his purpose. And we see it slowly transition to night, and Ignis is being showed Stardust Road by Playmaker, and these guys have a really nice moment where Playmaker, or Yusaku at this point, inputs a card into the dual disk, and what it is it's the removal program that frees up the lock that ties Ignis into the dual disk. So now Ignis is free. Playmaker says, go on, go back home, go back to your friends, your purpose is fulfilled. So Ignis, very reluctantly at first, leaves, but not before thanking Playmaker or Yusaku for everything that he's done. And these two share a nice little moment as Ai is finally gone, before Yusaku goes back to Kusangi's food truck and grabs his bag and heads home. Kusanagi even offers to drive him home, but Playmaker or Revolver, or not Playmaker or Revolver at this point, Yusaku just says, nope, I'm fine, thank you anyway, and he walks off. And that's pretty much the episode. So like I said, it's hard to believe that an episode like this, such a climactic episode and the biggest comeback in Yu-Gi-Oh's history, and this is just a season finale. Because starting with the next episode, we're into Season 2, and things are going to change drastically from what I've been seeing on Twitter and on YouTube. But anyway, with Season 2 on the horizon, this concludes Season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS. It was an epic first season, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do in Season 2. And this episode was just a fitting way to end it. It really could stand as a series finale, in my opinion. But with all that being said, this episode, I give it a 10 out of 10. This episode was really great, really well done. I liked all these dynamics and how they all melded together to create this episode. And Season 2, they got a lot to live up to, in my opinion. But, as always, in the comments section down below, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What were your thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS Season 1? What are your expectations for Season 2? Just what are your thoughts about all this in general in the comments section down below? Because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye everybody.